War for the Planet of the Apes is directed by Matt Reeves once again and stars Andy Serkis, Steve Zahn, and Woody Harrelson. After the apes suffer unimaginable losses, Caesar wrestled with his darker instincts and begins his own mythic quest to avenge his kind. And I remember watching this movie in the theaters for the first time and being blown away by it. This was the concluding chapter of this saga. This was the end of the story of Caesar, and I was really excited to see how this story will pan out. And honestly, to this day, I still absolutely love this movie, and it's one of my favorites of all time. I was so emotionally invested in this story that got me very emotional by the end and felt satisfying as a concluding chapter to Caesar's story. Even some of the weaker elements that were handled in the previous films were improved upon here. This was everything I wanted in the Planet of the Apes film. This was a lot darker, a lot more intense, and the apes get total focus here. We only focus on the human characters that are antagonistic. This is completely about the apes and not just humans and apes. We are looking at the story entirely in Caesar's point of view, and it worked exponentially well. Andy Serkis is at his best here as this character. The motion capture work and visual effects to bring these apes to life are even better than the previous film. And honestly, if it wasn't for Blade Runner 2049, I would have had this film won Best Visual Effects easily in 2017. They look realistic. They look like they were makeup effects and hairstyling that were done practically. There are some close-up shots that I swear were actual makeup effects. Like, the visual effects here are perfect. They are immersive and they ease you into the film beautifully. Not just in the nighttime sequences, but in the day too. It's all portrayed very well. It's all graphically composited beautifully. Like, I cannot gush about the visual of this film enough, but we'll go to that. We're done. We're done talking about the visual effects. They're perfect in every way. Let's talk about something else in the film. As I said before, Andy Serkis once again great. Steve Zahn was a surprise good character in this film. I thought, based on the trailers and some of the clips I saw when it first came out, that he was going to be the annoying comedic relief, but he was never annoying. There are plenty of scenes where he does take moments seriously, and he never ruins the tension of a single scene. His humor is due to his inexperience in war and being more of a loner character of the apes that just does things his own way, and he doesn't have that much interactions. So it's obvious that he's going to be asking weird questions even to the apes that we care about, like Maurice, who has also been a really good character in this trilogy of Planet of the Apes films. And I really like what they did with him having to form this rescue mission for Caesar after he gets captured by Woody Harrelson's villain character. And from then on, this revenge story turns into a Moses story where Caesar needs to free his people from these terrible human beings that all they want is war against these apes and nothing else. And again, you understand their reasoning. Humanity is gone on the brink of collapse, but they've done a lot of questionable actions in their past too, that you understand why they did it, but you don't agree, and it's very inhumane the way they go about things. And it even further villainizes them, while you also still understand why they need to do those things. It's a very conflicting feeling that you greatly appreciate in this film. And while it is a bit exposition heavy, how Woody Harrelson's character gives out this information as the Colonel, he is still a formidable foe against Caesar. He obtains a lot of power against him. His authoritarian leadership like type of character worked very well here, and these two characters create a great foil in terms of the ideologies they have and how much they argue about how things should be with humans and apes. And the action and visual effects here that bring this war to life are great. This is not a total war film. There's no battle sequence every other second until the final act. This is just a rescue mission, and I guess you could say that is a flaw with the title of the film, but as the story is presented in the way it is given to us, I cannot think of a more satisfying way for Caesar to end his character arc, especially when he comes across this human girl that he starts to form a lot of sympathy for after what he has done to her and what she is like now. I think it is a great exploration of how even apes are starting to act a bit more like humans in the way they are being aggressive toward the other kind. And that's all handled beautifully with Matt Reeves' incredible direction, and the cinematography as well is absolutely beautiful. These shots are crisp and clean. The white shots bring this war to life beautifully. The end climax is absolutely well handled. Just everything about this film came together. It's even darker than the previous film. That's what I like about these movies. They get darker and darker as they go on, and they aren't afraid to show quite a bit of scary and graphic imagery here, and it creates this scenario of dread and tension that you don't get a lot in these big blockbuster films. Honestly, I barely have anything bad to say about this, apart from one exposition scene that is just handled pretty blandly in my opinion. This movie was beautifully shot, it was beautifully directed, the acting and visual effects are great, the story and pacing is engaging. Everything about this movie clicked for me, and the ending and final shot of the film was so satisfying and actually got me teary-eyed by the end. I love this story, I love this trilogy of Planet of the Apes films, and I cannot wait to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'm going to give War for the Planet of the Apes an A+. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys next time.